Welcome to the Praetorian Guard System Administration Console demonstration video. In this video, we will cover the System Administration Console, its features, its functions, and its benefits. The Praetorian Guard System Administration Console includes the following features: system-wide alerting, remote install and management of all of your services across your network, enterprise-class security, enterprise-class architecture, your enterprise-class user rights and dependencies, multi-company support, multiple network node support including subnets, VLANs, etc., a full corporate organizational tree, advanced management including the corporate organizational tree, individual computer groups, as well as the system tree. Praetorian Guard product is 100% Microsoft.NET based, and you will be provided 24/7 support for all of your support needs. When you first open the Praetorian Guard System Administration Console, after you have logged into the product, you will be presented the home page. This home page includes 3 areas that you can choose to go into: licensing, system wizards, or system maintenance. If you haven't licensed the product, you will be forced into the licensing area first. Within the licensing area of Praetorian Guard, you can set up your subscriber information. Here you would key all of your corporate information as well as your information, and then you would choose your product subscription. Your product subscription will include what you've licensed of the product and how many PCs you're running this upon. For instance, you can have 1 prefect and 1 tribune. Those come licensed with the product initially. You can choose additional tribune licenses, and then you choose the number of centurions that you wish to have upon your network. Every PC that's running on your network that will utilize Praetorian Guard will need 1 centurion license. And then each additional feature area of the product can be licensed individually, and you can choose any number of these that you would like. You must have the number of centurions that match the total number of computers on your network, but each of the features can be different quantities. For instance, if I were to choose 1 additional user auditing PC, if you watch my Centurion license, when I increase my user auditing license, my Centurion license will adjust as well, because the Centurion license must match the largest number out of all of your features. However, I can also reduce my event log licenses down to, say, 15, and only utilize 15 event log management monitoring settings on 15 PCs of my network, which means 3 PCs that are licensed Centurions will not have event logging available on those PCs. So this granularity in licensing enables you to choose the licensing that exactly matches what your needs are. In addition, you can choose to license the product monthly or annually. If you wish to buy a perpetual license, you'll need to contact ISIS. We can process your order and provide you a perpetual license for the product. After you've initially created your license within this screen and processed your credit card information, and notice here on the right you can choose to process automatically or manually. We suggest that you make this automatic and make it process monthly or annually so that your license doesn't expire. After you've completed this, you then move to your service installation area, and here you would install your different Centurions and Tribunes on the computers across your network. Once you've installed your appropriate Centurions across the network, you would then move to the license assignment screen, and within here you can assign your licenses to each appropriate computer that you've installed. For instance, if I click on this test demo of Exchange, it's going to show my 1 PC down at the bottom and what features have been licensed upon it. This screen also allows you to adjust licenses by your organizational tree, computer groups, as well as computers. This enables you to easily apply your licenses across your network. I can choose multiple computers at a time as well. As this is an example, I've chosen my Tribune, so it's showing all children Centurions that are a member of that Tribune, and I can quickly license all of these. You can choose by row to enable, by column, or you can choose up here at the top right individual licenses for each one. So for instance, if I were to click PC operating inventory, the column becomes unchecked in the bottom area down here. So there's multiple ways of licensing within here to make it as easy as possible for you to select the appropriate Centurions that need to be licensed. And finally, in our licensing area, you can see all of the credit card charges that have occurred for your Praetorian Guard system and print receipts. Next, we have the System Wizard screen. We won't go in depth here, but we basically provide the screens you need to go into and create and set up appropriately step by step to configure the system. Finally, the main area of administration for the product is under the system configuration area. Here we immediately pop into the system alerting section, but since you would initially have to set up the system, you would normally come into the service configuration area. Here I can see all the services that have been installed across the network, what are my available licenses. I can manage my actual prefect service, set up its appropriate information. I can manage all of the Tribune services in their appropriate settings under Tribunes. And finally, I can manage all of my Centurions under my Centurion section. We also provide the capability under Service Administration to stop and start services across your network of the Praetorian Guard product. So for instance, if some reason we were not getting appropriate responses from a computer, I can easily refresh that state, and if I see that there's a problem, I could restart it. So it appears that the service is not started, so that means we probably need to look into it and see what has occurred on this server. In the last section under service configuration is the manage monitoring settings. This area of the product allows you to assign how the computers are monitored upon the network, and this applies to each of the different areas of the product's monitoring settings, whether it be user auditing or network monitoring. We allow you to assign your monitoring settings based on the services and how they're laid out across the network. You can do it by the organizational unit tree of the organization, as well as individual computer groups. This is useful in the sense if I wanted to manage all of my accounting department, I wanted those computers to have a different auditing schedule than other computers in my network, I can simply come to the accounting area and create a new settings. So for instance, for my accounting department, I can configure all of the user auditing settings specifically for this area of my organization. I can set up all of the different inventory settings. Do we wish to collect software inventory? Do we wish to collect hardware inventory? Do we want to collect the PC operating inventory? Performance inventories? Do we want to collect event logs? What event logs do we want to collect? And do we need any urgent alerts for event logs? Once these settings have been configured, now we have a checkbox next to accounting. And what the way the system works is a given PC within the accounting department now moves up the tree to find the closest settings that are applicable to the computer itself. So if I have settings assigned to an individual computer itself, then it's always going to utilize those settings. However, if it doesn't have individual settings assigned to it, it moves up the tree, up the organizational unit tree, or the service layout tree, or the computer group tree, depending on your settings in the system, which path is the primary, and then it finds the dependency, the monitoring settings that will apply to it. So, for instance, secure file 08 server is going to move up the organizational tree. There are no settings assigned until it gets to accounting. Now it knows that it's a member of the accounting organizational unit and will apply these settings. This enables you to do really complex monitoring settings for your network, especially when dealing with user auditing information such as screen captures and key logs. The next area of the product is organizational units and organization. Here you can create multiple companies, and within each company you can configure how the organizational units are configured and structured. This is basically your organizational tree. Within here you can see all the users assigned to each one, as well as the computers. We also enable you to assign users in the system. So you will bring in all of your Active Directory users that you wish to monitor in the network, but you only grant those who need access to the Praetorian Guard system within here. So for instance, I can import all of my Active Directory users, but I only have one user that's actually set up to utilize the Praetorian Guard system. And that's controlled with roles and tasks. So for instance, this user is a member of what user groups, what organizational tree, are they required to authenticate, and then what are their assigned roles. So if a user does not have an assigned role within the system, they cannot utilize the Praetorian Guard administration or monitoring consoles. Another thing to mention here is our security within the product provides very advanced security control of your users and who can monitor who across the network. The Praetorian Guard product was designed from the ground up for an enterprise organization. It allows individual departments, supervisors, and administrators to have management and monitoring set capabilities of the people that they're responsible for, but will not have access to that information for departments and users that they do not have access to. For example, if I grant someone access to the system with a given security role, so you set up roles which allow access to certain parts of certain consoles, then within there I say what do they have access to. So I can grant a user access to whole companies, to individual organizational units within a given company. I can grant them access to specific users, to specific groups. I can grant them access to specific computers. I can grant them access to specific computer groups, as well as inactive Centurions. This allows the user to have access to only those areas of the product that you grant them access to. To help you better understand this, we can look at manage roles and tasks. So you create as many roles as you would like within the system, and each role can have specific tasks assigned to them for each of the consoles of the product, and you can choose what they can do within each of those screens. So once again, you grant roles to users, and the roles you can set up in whatever form you would like, and then you also have to assign what data they have access to within the system. We also allow you to create user groups and assign users into these groups to help you easily manage them. We provide management of computer groups, which is more for your network monitoring, where you can create, for instance, PCs separate from servers, and then you can assign servers to specific groups such as domain controllers, exchange servers, and then I can perform scripting, monitoring on the groups as opposed to specific servers. This makes network management much easier. In addition, as I add new equipment into the network, I can easily just manage these guys and drop them into the appropriate areas that they belong. For instance, I can put our remote desktop server into the terminal server group. We also provide data health and retention. This area of the product allows you to see, one, how is your data health, how large are the tables, what's in use. You can choose what's your retention schedule and how much data do you want to keep and for how long. And then you can choose individual data information that you may need to protect. So for instance, if an employee left and you're in a possible lawsuit, you may want to save all information regarding that employee as well as their computer. So this matrix allows you to secure an individual user as well as the individual computer, and all of our data can be viewed by user or computer, so you would want to save everywhere that user had access to. That's a quick summary demo of the System Administration Console. If you have any further questions, please contact us at www.getpg.net, or you can call us at 804-762-4200, or feel free to email us at info@getpg.net. We appreciate your time and look forward to working with you.